Hello, my name's Emily. I'd like to welcome you to this grounding practice created especially for autumn. So sitting comfortably on your mat, make sure your spine is tall. And let's just start with a few sighing out breaths as we let go of the world around us and bring ourselves into an inward focus. So inhaling deeply through the nose and sighing out the breath through the mouth. Feel with every exhale, you're letting go. And with every inhale, you're bringing the awareness within. And then just change the breath so you're breathing in and out through the nose, if that's possible for you. And with every inhale, just feel that you're gathering yourself, gathering your awareness, your focus, your energy. And with every exhale, you're shifting that into the body. So out of the mind, out away from the thoughts, and taking the awareness into the body. You might find you can deepen and lengthen the breath a little. And as you continue to breathe with that awareness, just notice, feel the heaviness, the weight of the body on the floor. Feel that you're connecting to the floor, to the earth beneath you. Rooting to the earth, drawing on that grounding, stabilizing energy. Just taking 2 more breaths here in that way. And then softly blinking the eyes open. And I think it's worth mentioning that, if at any point in this practice you feel you'd like to spend longer at any point, any position, then do just pause your video, your recording, and give yourself the time that you need in those particular areas. Okay, so let's just begin nice and easy with a seated cat-cow. So however you sit comfortably, that might be cross-legged or it might be kneeling, but just start by inhaling and bringing the chest, the abdomen forwards, looking up, squeezing the shoulder blades behind you, keeping hold gently of the knees. And as you exhale, rounding the back, holding onto the knees to stabilize you, keeping that connection through the tailbone, the sit bones, and the earth, and bringing the chin into the chest. So we can do that a little quicker in time with your breath. Just trying to get some movement through the spine, easing out tension. And you can close your eyes here if you find that more helpful to focus. We'll keep them open, keep the gaze soft. Okay, then coming to settle at the center. And we're going to come to all fours. So bringing your hands under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. And we'll just circle the body. So circling the shoulders around and over the hands. And you'll hear my hips were clicking. It's just quite a nice sign that it's releasing. So don't worry if you do have a few pops and clicks. as you circle around. There's no right or wrong here. Your circles might be small and they might be really big. Just go with what feels good. Then reverse it round the other way. Keeping the breath flowing, nice and deep. Okay, when you feel you've done about the same to both sides, I'm going to prepare to come up into downward facing dog. So let's tuck the toes under, bring the hands under the shoulders, they're not already there. Prepare to come up by inhaling, and as you exhale, lift off. Bend the knees deeply to start with. Come up high onto the balls of the feet and work on lifting the tailbone up towards the ceiling. Once you've got that, press the floor away with the hands. Bring the chest through towards the thighs, but keeping the ears in line with the upper arms if you can. And then we can work on bringing the heels towards the floor, but you don't want to lose that long line through the spine, ideally. So maybe just one heel at a time, easing down. And then maybe both together. So you might be like me, you might never, well, not yet anyway, touch the floor with your heels. Or perhaps you get there quite easily. Okay, so let's just take a moment of stillness in our down dog and just take a few breaths here. Then take the gaze up between the thumbs. We're going to step the right foot through, so it might take a few goes to step that foot through. Maybe use your hand to bring it forwards, that's fine. And then pivot the back foot. We're preparing to come up into Warrior Two, Virabhadrasana 2. So for here, we need the heel in line with the back instep. And just make sure that your knee never comes over your toes, so you can see your toes beyond your knee. So we're going to engage the core to come up. So you inhale, sweeping the arms up and back if you can, and bring the arms left there. Just check you can see your toes beyond your knee, and your knee isn't rolling in, that it's opening out back of the mat. So once you've found your pose, just taking 3 full breaths here. And from here, we're going to shift into Trikonasana triangle pose. So just rotate the palms forwards, extend that front leg, so straightening as much as you can, and then just ease across a little bit before you tip over. And don't go too far to start with, so maybe start with the hand just below the knee. See how that goes. If you can slide it further down. You might even be able to get fingertips to the floor onto a block, but don't do that if it means you're coming forwards here. I want to keep it as a side stretch. Now, if you are feeling mentally scattered at the moment, you need to work on feeling grounded. Bring the gaze down towards the floor. That's a good place to have it. Or if you feel okay, you could turn up to the thumb. But as this is a grounding practice, I would suggest keeping the focus down. One more breath here. And then to come up safely, we're going to bend that front knee, pull the navel back to the spine so you're engaging the core, and rise up with strength there. Bring the palms together, turn the toes forwards and pivot so that we can work now to the other side. So just be careful you tuck the tailbone under. Inhale, the arms come up to shoulder height. Exhale, bend into the front knee. You can always shift and adjust. Shoulders dropping down, looking along the left arm to the middle fingernail. 3 full breaths here. Good, and then moving into Trikonasana. So rotate the palms forward, extend that front leg, slide across and tip over, reaching that top arm up. Again, gazing towards the floor today, this practice. Coming out safely by bending the knee, coming back, palms together, and turn the toes forward. Now, if you want to, you can pause here and do that twice more to each side. But for the sake of keeping this to 15 minutes, we're going to now ease in the feet, hop in, and we'll take the arms up and above the head. So reaching up high, make sure the feet are just under the hips, interlacing the fingers, lifting up and off, but really feeling the connection through the feet, through the soles of the feet, past the toes, the heels, the balls, really connecting to the earth deeply. And then we can just turn the head, nice and simple, turn the head to the right, take a few breaths here. Keep that reaching upwards and then rooting downwards. And turn to the left. Back to center. Inhale again, reaching up and then tipping over to the left. We're going to stretch through the right side first. As you reach over, feel that right foot pressing into the floor. And reach up, inhaling, and exhale over. Your left foot pressing deeply. And inhale up, and then take the arms all the way down, really reaching, bringing as much space through and around the shoulders, shoulder blades. Good. And step back onto the mat. You can stay where you are and step the feet wide. So you can see I've got them pretty wide here, probably about as wide as my leg length, but you can see how you feel when you come down. Just turn the toes to face forwards. I'm going to slide the hands down the legs and come into a wide leg, standing wide leg forward bend. So as you slide the hands down, use your hands on your legs to brace if you need to. You can always keep a bend in the knees as well. If full leg extension is not available to you today, that's fine. So bring your right hand to the floor underneath the crown of the head, palm down, fingers spread. The left hand behind you, back of the hand on the sacrum, on the lower back there. And then extend, straightening that front arm and extending through the spine. And as you exhale, keeping the hips as level as you can, rotate the upper body to the left. So we come into a twist. Try and avoid the right hip shifting forwards and the left hip shifting back. Left arm can lift, perhaps. And then bring the left hand down, swapping over, extending the spine as you inhale. And exhale, rotating to the right. Keeping the hips level, perhaps lifting that right arm. Bring that hand down. And then walk the hands around to the right, shifting, pivoting the feet as you go. Step the foot back, the front foot back into downward dog again. Take a breath here. And then we're going to come through into pigeon pose. So bring the right knee forwards towards the elbow. Slide down. If that's too much, you can come to all fours from down dog and just slide that right knee forwards. And that's a bit more straightforward. Bring that left foot back. You can tuck or walk the right foot around as far as you're able to. Some of you may be able to have it parallel to the front of the mat, but don't worry if not, you can just tuck it into the hip. And today, because we're grounding, maximize that connection to the earth. So bring the forearms down if you can, maybe bowing the head. Really feel though the legs are still active and supporting you here, but the hips are softening. The back, the spine is softening and releasing. The head hanging. Taking 3 full breaths here. Remember that breathing from the beginning, breathing the awareness into the body and exhaling, softening, feeling the support, pressing up into you from below, from the earth. So the earth is actively holding you here. Then bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Shift that right knee back. Check your positioning, and then the left knee comes through, sliding the right foot behind you. Make sure you're in a good position there, shifting and adjusting that front foot, and then coming down onto the forearms if you can. Softening the face and the jaw and the shoulders. So we've taken 3 full breaths here on each side. As I said before, if you want to press pause and then continue, perhaps do another couple of rounds or another round and hold for longer, you are very welcome. From here, we're going to shift that knee back and prepare to come down to Shavasana. So you might like to just have a quick pose of the child on your way down, and then come to lie on your back. You need to be comfortable, so if that means adapting the posture a little, maybe bending the knees, resting the knees against each other. But if you're in the classic pose, arms away from the sides, feet about as wide apart as the mat, roll or tuck the shoulder blades in and under you slightly, and then extend the neck, just tucking the jaw in a little. Give yourself a few breaths to settle into the pose and to shift into receiving. So from that energy of action and doing into the energy of stillness, quiet, receiving rest. And I would encourage you to stay here for at least 5 minutes if you can. More if you're able to. When you're ready to return, just make sure we take a deep inhale into the front of the body and exhale through the back of the body into the earth, grounding, drawing on that stability, being connected and present. And just starting to move gently, move the fingers and toes, release the jaw, roll the head a few times. And have a stretch, yawn. Plugging in the knees, roll a few times from side to side. And carefully rolling to the side, pulling yourself up, back into seated position. With the hands together at the heart center. Just take a moment here to observe how you're feeling now. Body, mind, and mood and energy. Absorb that. And take a moment to bow, thanking all our teachers, all those who love and support us. And I bow to you and thank you for your practice. Namaste.